Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan StevealiciousTech here with a little discussion about the Google Pixel 4a. I wanted to be excited. Today was the day. When I saw that it was going to be released today, I expected to come on in the morning, see the specs online, pre-order, have it here, we can unbox it, have some fun with it, compare it to other phones. As always, I feel myself disappointed with another Pixel device. It's tough to say when I don't have it in my hand. I'm not one of those reviewers that gets it early. I'm sorry about that. But at the same time, I watched a bunch of videos on it today, and with the specs and the limitations, I just can't be someone that's super hyped about this. And I can't be someone that says that I look at this device and say, hey, this is the best Android deal out there currently. It's not. It's not. It's not. And we're going to go over a couple things with that today. But it seems like just a trend with Pixel. They have so many things that they get right and so many things that you want to be excited about. And then these weird things that come in and just prevent you from saying this is a slam dunk device. Whether it was the Pixel 3 XL with that ridiculous notch, perhaps the worst notch of all time. Whether it was the Pixel 4, pick your poison there. You had a whole list of things that were odd there. The forehead. That Soli that never quite worked right. The battery that couldn't even last you an entire day. And now, the 4A. First off, I know people are saying, well, it's $349 and you get the Pixel experience and you get the Pixel camera. A word on the camera. I understand the camera's really good. I understand that typically you can't get a camera on a device that cheap of that quality. Understood. They're not far and away the best anymore. Might they be the best? Subjective. However, you have Apple with their camera technology right there now. You have Samsung. I understand they took a step back with the S20 Ultra. They're right there now. So it used to be Pixel, everybody else. Now that's kind of gotten a little closer. So that's not the giant advantage anymore that they kind of cram down your throat. With, hey, it's $349, but it's the Pixel camera. Thank us. Just enjoy. And let me tell you something about that Pixel camera advantage, too. I think that's coming to an end. And I don't think it's going to be a hardware maker that does it, even though it may be. I think it's going to be somebody like Adobe, who's already working on it, and took someone from the Pixel team, by the way, to do it, working on a third-party app that's going to bring that kind of intelligence and computational photography to any phone. And that'll be something. And that'll be the day that Pixel really sweats. Because then they're going to have to focus on user experience. One more thing on the camera before we get off that topic. Can we stop with the 12 megapixels? Please. How much could it possibly cost for that 48 megapixel Sony IMX sensor that they put in every budget phone known to man? Do they need a little help? I'll order it for them off of AliExpress. I'll ship it. Come on with that. And this is a word that we're going to get back to when it comes to the Pixel design and all the rest of it. Hubris. There's this idea that they're so good with their software that they can overcome anything. And it's just not true. Ever notice how on these phones there are always 2 gigabytes of RAM behind everybody else? In 2018, with the Snapdragon 845, when makers were going to 6 and 8 gigs of RAM. Pixel 3, 4 gigs. Last year, when the makers were going 8 gigs standard, especially for a phone costing $1,000, 12 gigs of RAM, sometimes even on these super devices. Pixel 4, 6 gigs of RAM. Took a sec. 6 gigs of RAM. And now you're looking at 6 gigs on this thing. And the Snapdragon 730G. Last year's mid-tier processor. Last year's. And don't tell me, hey, it's cheap. Can we really complain? Yes, you can. Because overseas, Amazon UK, not that far overseas, you get something like this that we unboxed on the channel. The Realme X55G. Glass and aluminum build. Snapdragon 765 5G phone. 8 gigs of RAM. 90 hertz refresh rate. It's actually 120, but there's some, effectively 90 hertz refresh rate. Nice specs. And this device you could get for 300 pounds. As opposed to the $349 that the Google Pixel 4a is going to release at. So you're going to tell me a company like Realme has better economies of scale than Google? Not buying it. Not buying it. And when it comes to the design, could it not look like it's 3D printed? Give us a little something. Because I understand that the performance is good today with those specs that you have in the phone. The problem with Pixel phones is, what about next year? And the year after that? For as odd as it is, for the maker of the phone itself and the software itself, Pixel phones seem to lag before any other phones on Android with the new operating systems, with the upgrades. Can you explain that to me? It's because it's underpowered to start. It's just good enough to be optimized for today's operating system. But you're not buying a new phone every 6 months, Google. You want to keep it a year or two? Not good enough. And especially not good enough. I understand it's not in the Android space, but especially not good enough when you're getting the latest and greatest chipset in the iPhone SE for $400. And a glass build, by the way. So it doesn't look like a toy. And in a couple different colors, because that's obviously really difficult. Unless they're holding the white version back for the 4A 5G. That's maybe they want to differentiate the devices by color. I have no idea. But the reason why I'm upset about this and the reason why I do videos like this is because I want it to be good. I wanted it to be good for a while now. I've wanted to get a Pixel device that I could test the new operating systems when they come out. I could beta test the new versions of Android. And I just can't bring myself, someone who owns a lot of devices. I don't get these devices. These are ones that I own personally. That's why I do these videos. Okay, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get them from the manufacturer. These are my devices. I'd be doing this anyway, but I just record it instead. And I want a good Pixel device. And I haven't been able to put my finger on it and say, that's a good one. You nailed it. All the big important things that you need to have in a smartphone, you nailed it. Regardless of the price point. Whether it's $1,000 and you need to be at a flagship level or the mid-tier level. The closest they came was the 3A. And the odd part with that was the XL was like, with decent storage, was 5 something or it got closer to 600. And I'm like, you know what? At that point, I'm not interested. So I was when they jumped the Nord release. Nord's gonna be tomorrow, and I figured they'd see what the Nord was doing with the 765 and the 90 hertz refresh rate and all that. And I get that the camera isn't the same, not even close. But like I said, I think there's gonna be third-party options sooner rather than later than fix that. At the same time, you could do a little bit more, whether it's with the design, whether it's with the features. You have that ridiculous camera square there for one lens. Looks like one of those Doogie phones. Just not quite right. And it never is quite right on the Pixel devices for whatever reason. So, let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'm curious to know. Maybe I'm just wrong about this. Maybe everybody else is right. It's the best deal on Android, and I'm getting this completely wrong. But for whatever reason, for me, whenever I see a Pixel device, there's just always something that turns me off about it. But if you're someone that's excited about the phone, let me know. I wanted to get one. Maybe we still will test it out. Personally, now I'm going to wait for the 4A 5G and the Pixel 5. We'll give them another shot. Maybe they'll come up with something good. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks for listening to a rant. Until next time, have that Stevealicious day.